Hey guys, Michael from Modulus here, and today we're going to talk about tube shields. Now I've got a funny story about these. We shipped a kit off to a customer in Europe somewhere, I think, and he emailed us after he received the kit, and he had received some black tube shields in his kit. And what he said was, "I'm not building a heavy metal amp. Can I get a different colored tube shield?" So does a black tube shield mean you're building a heavy metal amp? Well, no, it doesn't really affect the tone in that way. But there is something that's quite important about tube shields that I'm going to explain to you in this video. So let's get into it. Okay, so here's what I wanted to talk about today. I had a customer named Mark who did some mods to one of our ROX 15 kits. The mod he did was he increased the voltage in the preamp to try and get more headroom out of the preamp, more clean headroom out of the preamp. And one of the things he reported was when he increased the voltage that the amount of hiss also increased. And then he sent me this little message. Hey Michael, I thought I'd give you an update on the mods, and basically what he's saying here is he increased the voltage in the preamp and he had some hiss, or that he hadn't noticed for the first time, and the amp had been silent in the past, so it was a change, and then he put his first preamp tube back in and put the cover on, and it all disappeared. But taking the cover off hisses back, so apparently that makes a difference. So what he is saying is that he took the shield off for changing the preamp valves, and then he put the shield back on and it reduced the hiss in the preamp. So now I'll be honest and say I've fitted many shields to amps and not really noticed much of a difference in noise. So I thought that was quite interesting, and it got me to thinking about tube shields and what their function is and how they work. Now you'll notice that you get tube shields in different colors. Right, here are some of the colors that we currently stock and sell in the shop, and normally with kits we would provide silver ones, gold ones, or black ones depending on the kit. So he had silver ones installed on his amplifier, and that's what he noticed the difference was with. Now there's a difference between these, right? And this discussion with Mark got me thinking about why would you notice a difference with some and not with others. And the difference is, obviously, these are colored ones, and that is a raw aluminium one. So the most important thing about this is this. If I grab my multimeter, right, because these are metal cans, we expect that they would be conductive, but they're not. And I'll demonstrate that. So I've got just a basic multimeter set on continuity. You can hear it beeps. So it doesn't matter which color I touch, there's no continuity. And the reason why there's no continuity is because they are anodized. Okay, and when you do an anodized finish on a aluminium surface, it doesn't conduct electricity. And that's what came back to me when Mark was communicating with me, because I used to work in the lift and vehicle industry, and part of that was that we were using aluminium lifting platforms, and they didn't conduct electricity because they were anodized. So I thought I'd go to AI and see what AI says about tube shields. So I said, tube shields do not conduct, and the AI bot decided to tell me I was wrong, that tube shields do not conduct is incorrect. Tube shields are specifically designed to be electrical conductors and must be connected to ground. Right, I then changed it to tube shields do not conduct since they are anodized, and the statement is correct now. The standard anodization creates a layer of aluminium oxide that is an electrical insulator, significantly reducing and eliminating the tube shield's electrical conductivity. So if they're not able to conduct, how are you able to connect it to ground? Okay, so all of these are anodized, right? And there's a difference between the colored ones and the silver ones. Okay, the way they're made is they are punched out to shape first of all, on a press, and then they are pressed into that final tube shape. And what I'll show you here is on the silver one, if I attach the probes to a cut edge, oops, two left hands today, all of a sudden I have continuity between the casing, the shield, and the base. Okay, if I do the same with the blue ones or any other color ones, attach it to the edge, I'm still not getting continuity. And the reason for that is that they are first made in a silver color, and then they're sent away, most likely to be anodized into a final color for that one. But it's all very nice being pretty, but it actually means that they're no longer able to connect and actually become a shield to protect the preamp valve that it's shielding. Okay, so what can we do to fix that? Because I'm sure that there's thousands of people out there that have installed colored ones, and maybe now you're intrigued, is it going to make a difference? I don't know if it's going to make a difference on your amp, but I mean, it's no harm in trying. So let's think about how we can improve the electrical connectivity from the base to the tube shield itself. Right, so we know that the silver ones conduct between the chassis connection and the tube shield and do provide proper electrical shielding. So the question is, let's try and make one of the colored ones do the same things. So what we're going to do is take a blade of some sort and just on all the hole surfaces, just go around and remove that oxidized layer. Oh, listen to that. Is it ASMR? If you have a lock washer, you could fit a lock washer on it as well. The main thing we want to do is make sure that we have electrical connectivity between the base, that's the base part, so I can even decide to focus on that, between the base part and the tube shield and the chassis. So there's three parts we need to make sure we have electrical connectivity between. So what I'm going to do is, on this, is just go in there with that blade and just remove the red color from around the edge of the holes. Right, so when I screw that onto the chassis now, the screw is going to make a electrical connection. But what we could also do is put a lock washer under the screw head just to really bite into the aluminium and ensure that there is a proper electrical connection there. The next thing is we need to make sure there's an electrical connection between the can and the cover. And when you have this on, the only thing that's going to be guaranteed to be touching is that little surface there, and there's two of them on each side. So all I want to do is take that off. And I'm just going to go in with that blade and just remove the oxide layer as well. ASMR, lovely. Right, and then on this part, I'm going to go in over there as well. Of course, if you don't want to do this, you could just buy silver ones. Right, so now what I'm going to do is, just for the purpose of demonstrating this, so I'll just remove some of the oxide layer off the top here as well. Okay, so if we go back here, right, so now what we want to do is check we have continuity between the base and the top. And so we do. So all we've done is cleared away some of the red color around the screw holes and cleared away the red color on those little connection nodules that stick out there. And that's given us continuity. So that will now operate properly as a tube shield, electrical tube shield, as well as a physical thing, and still look fairly pretty. Okay, hopefully that was helpful of showing you how to make sure that your tube cans are properly acting as an electrical shield. If you give this a try and you find it makes a change or a difference to your noise level in your amps, please let me know in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear back from you guys about this sort of thing. If you found it helpful, like, subscribe, comment, whatever, and we'll see you again for the next one. Cheers.